Hey, hey, hey! This is Vikas, your wisdom coach, coming to you once again with a dose of wisdom to keep you steady, stable, and shining as we go through the storm of life. Storms happen, we go through them, and we always have a choice of how we go through them. And that's what I've been coaching you here for. I've been coaching you to always stay happy, stay steady, move forward, and shine bright, which means be your best self, even as we are going through the storm. So let's continue with another great lesson today. We've had some really good questions, so I'll come back to that. I'm quite excited about the questions that I'm going to answer today. But before that, let's start with a reminder of one of the key lessons that I taught you a few videos ago. Think long term, act short term. That's a very powerful wisdom lesson. It's a wisdom strategy that I teach to my top clients. Think long term, act short term. Think long term is about thinking of the future, thinking with a vision, thinking about a bigger picture. So as a leader of your life, as a leader of your family, as a leader of your business, and as a leader, because you're living, if you're living means leading your life, right? So if you're a leader, you've got to have a future focused vision. That's called think long term. So you don't have to think just for today. You have to think about next month, 1 year. Practically speaking, now you have to think about what will life be for you 6 months later, 1 year later. But the second element of that is act short term, which means that you must now focus on the action you can take today to grow yourself for that future, to get ready for that future. So I call this concept, think long term, act short term, becoming future ready. You have to future proof your life, your family, your business, your career, your income. How are you doing that? Tell me. How have you spent the few weeks of lockdown, of hibernation already that have passed by? Some of you still have many weeks ahead, right? We are in Singapore. We still have 5 weeks to go. My point is, what have you done with this time? Have you thought long term? Have you acted short term? Have you thought long term, which is about strategy? Have you strategized your life for the future? Do you have a plan here about what you want your life to be 3 months, 6 months, 1 year later? Tell me, what are you doing in your job? What income you're earning? Tell me, do you even have a job? Do you have a steady income coming in? What is your vision for your family, for your kids, for the kind of work that you're doing? What is your vision about being the best expression of yourself? Do you have a future vision? You must. You must think now of the life you want to create, because if you can't see it, you can't be it. Remember this spiritual law that you must see what you wish your life to be. It's a spiritual law I'm sharing with you today. I'm giving you these wisdom nuggets which I teach to my top clients around the world, right? People pay thousands and thousands of dollars to coach with me, and their lives are massively benefited, their businesses are massively benefited. I'm coaching you now, but you have to take this seriously, because here's another great wisdom lesson for you. Information is not transformation. Information does not lead to transformation. Listen, we have all the information we need in this world. We have all the information we need in this world. Information doesn't lead to transformation. If it did, everyone would be transformed, right? Everybody would be living great lives. And you know what is actually happening? And I'm giving you a personal opinion here, but actually I've done research, I know. 97% of the world is living unfulfilled lives. They are in jobs that don't fulfill them. They are living a lifestyle that does not bring out their greatest expression. They are engaged in work that is not absolutely optimizing their potential. They are living in relationships that they know are making them slow. Remember, relationships can make you grow or make you slow. They are living, 97% of the men and the women in this world are living in relationships that make them slow. Then why don't they change? Why don't they change? Because we don't have that commitment to a future vision. We have all the information we need, but information is not transformation. Information today, you have more access to it than ever before in history. If you have a smartphone, You have all the information that you need. You have more information than is available in the library. Then why doesn't it better your life? Because we are missing that one critical component, right? Information is not transformation. There's a critical component in the middle, which is called realization. Information must lead to realization, which leads to transformation. Remember that rule of mine. I teach this to the top guys. Their lives change, their businesses change, their results change. Information is useless. It will spoil your life. It will toxify your mind. So you must get the right information first, and then it must lead to a realization. That's where coaching comes in. A coach's job is to make you realize certain things which then become real for you. Realization. The word realization starts with the word real. So call it realization. And then your life is transformed. So information is useless. Information is not transformation. Information must lead to realization, and realization creates transformation. So think long term, because if you're not thinking long term, if you have no strategy for the life you want to create, if you cannot see what you wish to be, let me promise you that you're going to have a difficult future. Because the future that's coming is not going to be like the past we had. It's a different future. And we have to make ourselves future ready. I've been insisting on this over and over again. And therefore, once you have that vision, then you must put it into action today. You must utilize this time to create some benefit for yourself. Yes, I know you love these videos. Yes, you're growing a lot. But what else are you doing? Many of you are, of course, doing with a meditation. You're coaching on that weekly program with me. But are you really doing something with an intention, in a planned manner, in a scheduled manner to grow yourself? Because if you don't, your life will get occupied by all the small things of your life. Really, I promise you this. This is the rule of the vacuum. You leave your time free, there's a vacuum, it's filled up by all the small stuff of your life. So the big stuff has to get there by intention. The big stuff is stuff that gets you to your goals, to your strategy, or to your vision, to your future. You have to get future ready now. So think long term, act short term. And another way to do that for yourself is to create that life for yourself in the future that you want. Another way to do that is to surround yourself with people who define your future and not your past. Surround yourself with people who define your future, who align with your future and not your past. Because the people we have around us are literally like the team we play with. So if you're playing with a losing team, guess what? You can be the best player, your team's gonna lose. But if you're playing with a winning team, then even though you're a mediocre player, your team's gonna win. It's all about the people you surround yourself with. Who is in your family? Who is in your friend circle? Who are your true, real associations? Who's in your team at work? Who are your employees? Who are your colleagues? Who are your peers? And above, most of all, above you, who is your coach? Who is your mentor? Who is your guide? Who is your guru? Who? Because listen, we all need good people around us on 3 levels. We need people below us that we can give work to, who can perform work together with us. We need people on our same level so we can engage with them. We can be open, we can talk, we can discuss, we can debate. And we need people above us. Why? Because we need to be inspired. All of us need heroes, mentors, coaches, inspirations. We need heroes, mentors, coaches. We need someone to inspire us. Because when you are inspired is when you want to rise. What's the opposite of inspiration? Depression. When you're depressed, you go down. We all need to be inspired. We all need someone to look up to. We all need someone to boost us up. Really, we do. So who's in your team? Who's playing with you? You have to define your future by the people you're working with. You must choose the people who align and define your future. Surround yourself with them rather than people who define your past. I hope you have taken this hibernation time to really look at your life and to understand what is valuable and what is not for you. This is a time of review for so many people. You know, companies have quarterly reviews. Some companies I coach with, they have monthly reviews. What about you as an individual? What about you as a father, a mother, a husband, or a wife, or just as a single person? How often do you review your life? Look, I know we review bank accounts every month, right? You get a bank statement. If you have a credit card, you're spending money, you get a credit card statement. What about your life statement? I think you should take this time to really review your life. What's working? What's not working? What do you need to do different? You need to look at your life, and then you need to define this future that you want to have. Have that strategy for the future that you want, different from your past. Once you have a strategy, now you need to take action on the daily life. So now you need to surround yourself. Already you can start this process. You need to surround yourself with people who define your future, align with your future, not your past, not what you don't want. Because your people are your team. And your team defines what happens to you as a result. Do you win? Do you lose? What happens? It's not just up to you. It's up to the people who support you. Okay, don't take this personally. I'm making general statements here. But let's say you're a husband and you have no support of your wife. How far are you going to get? Let's say you're a wife and your husband doesn't support you to grow. I can promise you, you're not going to shine. So the first thing you change, not your life, the first thing you change is you look at your relationships. And you help that relationship to become different, all right? So you have to start with what's wrong, what's not working right now. And then you can start looking at what's working. Let's say you're a person and you hate your job. And before you never had time to look at it because you're just so busy with your work. But now, because of the hibernation period, the enforced house arrest, now you have the time to look at your life and you realize, oh my God, I really hate my job. I don't really even want to go back to that job. See, that's a realization. Now what do? Now you must find people who will align with your future. Now you must find a different way forward, a different work, a different job. And now is the time to get ready for that job. I've been talking so much about invest in yourself, invest in yourself, invest in yourself. Okay, I'll give you a summary, right, of really, if you want to understand what your life is all about, let me tell you, here's a summary, because your life is not just about earning money. Your life is not just about doing just any work. Your life is also not just about producing children, having a family, and then growing old and dying. Your life is not about all this. Your life is not about buying things. Yes, all these things are a part of life, but what is the purpose of your life? The purpose of your life is to be the best expression of yourself. So understand what is the best expression of you in a relationship. What's the best expression of you in work? What's the best expression of you as a human being in a lifetime? What is it that you want to do with your life, and how do you want to be with your life? And once you have understood that this is the best expression of me, now you must be willing to invest in making that happen. Because remember, if you're not willing to give anything to this vision, it's never going to happen. The problem with most of us is we want everything for free. We want the good stuff, but we want it for free. I want my vision. I want my dreams. I want to be a millionaire, but I don't want to invest anything in it. I want just free stuff. I want free videos on YouTube. I want free coaching. I want everything free. That's the mindset we have. Now, it's okay to get started. There's nothing wrong. But remember, dreams don't come true without investment of time, of energy, of effort, of money. People don't become millionaires and multimillionaires and billionaires without investments of time, energy, effort, money. You have to be committed and you have to show that. If you are not willing to invest in yourself, why should life invest in you? Why should anybody else invest in you? So today I want to define the word investment because it is one of the most beautiful words in the language, all right, English language. Investment. First of all, the word invest begins with the word in. When I invest in anything, it starts with the word in. So you know what that means actually? The best and the number one investment that you should have is in yourself. Inwards, inner, internal. You should have that investment in yourself. That's the first investment you do. You owe it to yourself to invest in yourself to grow your life. So it starts with the word in. That's an indication. That's already a message to us. But what does the word vest mean? Invest. All right, so in means inside something. The word vest means to put value there. I vested an interest. Okay, so invest is to put value inside something. Do you get it? So tell me, if you are not willing to invest in yourself, if you are not willing to invest in put value inside yourself, why should anybody else? Why should anyone else? I give you an example, all right? One day I used this same example with one of my platinum clients, and they were like, oh my God, I never thought of life this way. So I want to use the same thing with you. Let's say you have $10,000 and you can do anything with it. Okay, I'm just taking an arbitrary figure, but let's say you have $10,000 and you can do anything with it. So I give you three options where to put this money, how to spend it, okay? I say, okay, the first option is, look, I know you like handbags, so I have this amazing limited edition, XYZ brand handbag, all right? Birkin, Louis Vuitton, whatever you want to call it. I have this amazing handbag, handcrafted. It's absolutely beautiful. It's limited edition, one of a kind. There's no one else, nothing else like this available. No, you'll never see anybody else with it. And this is for $10,000. So I can trade that with you, Give me your 10,000, here you go. You take the handbag home, enjoy it. So for some people, that's a good investment, right? It may be. The second option though is this, that I tell you, you take the $10,000 and you invest in a particular share of a certain company. So you invest in stocks of a certain company. It's a good company, it's on the way up, and you know what? You can even potentially earn 100% return on it. That's a pretty good investment for some people. The third thing I tell you is that you take your $10,000 and I'm going to put you on a coaching program. And at the end of this coaching program, which will take you maybe 1 week, you will have a clear method, a clear plan, a clear strategy on how to build yourself into a millionaire. For some people, that's a good investment. Which one is it for you? I'll tell you what, here's a very interesting thing. It'll blow your mind. Your values define where you invest. Listen to that again. It'll show you how you are living your life. Your values will decide and define what you invest in. Your personal values, even though you may not recognize it, acknowledge it, but everywhere where you have invested is because your values have driven you to do that. For some people, the value is, I just want approval. I want other people to be jealous, envious. I want to show other people how wealthy I am. For them, perhaps, the handbag is a good investment. People see my handbag, they realize I'm a rich person, even though I may not be, because I just spent all the 10,000 I had. Plus, the handbag isn't going to help me to grow at all. Not at all. But that's not in my value. My value is just to show the world how good I am. Your values define and drive your investments of time, energy, effort, money. Second, I say I invest in a stock, all right? A person who invests in a stock, what are their values? Their values are, I want somebody else to help me get rich. That's what their value is. I put my money in, and investments are great. Don't think I'm telling you not to invest. I'm just showing you what values are driving you. I want to invest in something else that's growing, which will lead to my growth also. So somebody else's growth defines my growth. That's the value there. Not bad. It might be the one for you. For someone, the third category, who decides that they're going to invest in a coaching program, go for 1 week, do the training, do the hard work, create the blueprints, get that map, get that strategy, get the action plan. What is their value? Their value is, I want to be in charge of my success. I want to be in charge of my future. It's still the same 10,000. 3 different values, 3 different people. Which one are you? How do you want to invest, add value, put value somewhere? That's the meaning of the word invest. How do you want to invest in your own life and in your own future? I used this example with one of my clients who was actually a CEO of a company. It blew his mind. He said, I've never really understood where I'm investing my money. I said, what do you invest in? He said, holidays. I said, great. How much do the holidays cost you? He says X amount, he gave me a figure, I'm not going to mention it here. 3 holidays, 4 holidays a year with family. Cost a lot of money. I said, imagine if you took all that money and you invested in growing yourself. And that's what he did actually. And it changed his life. So remember, we invest based on the values. And if you're not investing in yourself, let me tell you what the value is. Today is a wake-up call. Why? Because we have only 25 videos. We are on number 20 now. This is number 20. So it's time to wake up. If you're not investing in yourself, why are you not investing in yourself? It's because you don't value yourself. Your values are that I am not good enough. Your values are I am not valuable enough. Your values are I don't deserve it. Your values are I can spend on other people, I can spend on children, I can spend on friends, I can spend on food, I can spend on this, X, Y, Z, but not on myself. I don't deserve it. I'm not good enough. Realize that your values are driving your investments. Always. So have a future strategy, think long term, act short term. Define what is the best expression of you in this lifetime, at work, in family, in relationships, as a human being, and then invest in yourself to create this best expression of yourself. I love material things, okay? I love acquiring material things. I love good things. Good food, good wine, good bags, good clothing. I love this. But you know what I love acquiring even more? Is wisdom. I love acquiring wisdom even more than I love acquiring material things. You know why? Because wisdom creates wealth. Your mind makes you your millions. Invest in the mind, invest in growth, invest in wisdom. Everything else in life becomes smooth. So let that be the main lesson for today. Invest in yourself, and your values define your investments. Questions for today. I'm excited about these questions. Why do I need a coach? Can I not do this myself? Great question. Listen, my friend. There's 2 ways of life. For anything you want to do, there's 2 ways of life. The first way is I want to do it on my own. I want to learn it myself. I want to work hard, find my own way in this path I've never walked in, which means it's like walking dark. I haven't walked this path before. I'm in the land of the unknown, but I want to do it my way. I want to make my own mistakes. I want to learn my own lessons. I'll do all the research I have to, and I'll do it my way. That's one way. But that way is full of struggle. It's full of mistakes. It's full of wrong steps, missteps, back steps. It's an unknown path, and it's a long path. The other way is to find someone who has walked the path before. For whatever it is you want, happy relationships, success at work, making a lot of money, becoming an influencer, inspirational teacher, coach, whatever it is you want. Find a person who has accomplished that, and then ask them to teach you and coach you. Easy way. Because they walk the path, they know the pitfalls of the path. They understand what turns to take and which ones to avoid. But they will not do this for free. Remember, you will need to commit to having this person coach you, mentor you, train you. There is no champion in the world without a coach. There is no championship team without a coach. Just think about it. Think of your favorite sport, tennis. Think of your favorite tennis player. Do they have a coach? And the answer is yes. Think of your favorite team sport. Is it cricket? Think of the best cricket team in the world. Do they have a coach? Of course they do. Whatever you look at, whichever field you look at, you will realize that there is no champion in their field. There is no champion without a coach. So you have a choice. You cannot become a champion without a coach, but you can be a player without a coach. Sure, any player. But if you want to be the best, you need someone to guide you, coach you, see it from the outside, to tell you what to do, to inspire you, to push you. So there are always 2 paths to everything, my friend. First path is I want to do it myself. Make my own mistakes, learn my own lessons, take a long time, have the struggle, suffering, but I'll do it myself. Hard way, the long path, the struggleful path. And by the way, spiritual lesson, if you want it, such a path is driven by ego, because anyone who says, I want to do it myself, is driven by ego. The second path is to find someone who's above you, coach, mentor, guide, hero, Someone who will coach you and train you, who accepts the responsibility of training you and you give the commitment of being trained, and then you become a champion faster, easier, smoother. That's the second path. And this path requires no ego because you will have to learn to follow someone. This path is not driven by I, it is driven by your vision and then putting I behind that vision. So you will have to learn to listen to follow. You will have to learn to a different perspective. You will have to respect and follow somebody else. And therefore you will have to put your ego behind. And that's why you'll become a champion. Okay, I hope that's answered your question. Next question we have is this one. How do we link wisdom to business? This is actually from one of our SoulKids coaches who's now in Turkey, Istanbul, Turkey, Vana Dinçek, and she wrote me a beautiful message. Hi, Vana. Wrote me a beautiful, thank you message and how much she's enjoying these videos, and what a wonderful question. How do we link wisdom to business? So wisdom is the root of everything we do in our life, whether it's family, it's relationships, because wisdom is the foundation of our mind, right? It's the food of the mind. So it's the fuel which drives the engine of my mind. So wisdom helps me to think a different way. Therefore, I'll run my business, I'll run my work a different way. Look, we also run a business, right? I mean, we are a successful, profitable business, and we are now worldwide. We have people from all over the world who come to train with us. I coach people all over the world from all levels of society and work and business. And many of the private clients I coach are CEOs and business people at very high levels. You still do business. You just do it with a different mindset. And you know what happens? When you bring wisdom into your work is that your work gets easier, smoother, faster. Because first of all, you learn how to work with others. And therefore, you can produce maximum results with minimum effort. So you will still have a profit, but you'll have it in a sustainable way. When you bring in wisdom, you realize you cannot do anything alone. You need to build a team of people around yourself. You need to provide inspiration. And you need to be inspired before you can provide inspiration. All right, so there is no leader who has not learned how to follow before. So you have to understand that wisdom comes into your life and then helps you to produce results faster. Look, in Singapore, when we started SoulCentre, there were so many other holistic centers around. And you know what happened in the next 1 or 2 years? I saw each of them one by one shutting down. And what happened is that SoulCentre began to grow because we run it in a different perspective. I have a mindset for business and I have a mindset for business and a foundation of wisdom. That's what you need. You need a mindset for business and a foundation of wisdom. And that's the beautiful combination. So I help people to grow businesses, to increase their profits, to maximize their results. I help people to save costs. So here's an example, real life, okay, from one of my clients. My private coaching client, this is from a couple of years ago. And he was a serial entrepreneur, so running multiple businesses at the same time. And he had started a new business. We were doing private coaching. So one day he comes to me and he says, I want to ask you this question about my new business. And he was in the middle of a quandary. It was a contract that he had negotiated with another company in the UK, and they had the license for Asia, and he was implementing it in Singapore first. So he started giving me this whole concept about what they are planning to do, and now he's in trouble because he needs to go back and talk to that company, and he'll have to pay them so much money to renegotiate that contract or to revalidate the license. And after listening to all of this, I saw something he didn't see. Because that's what happens with all of us. It doesn't matter how good or how successful we are. We're all living in our own bubbles, and the job of a coach like me is to see from outside the bubble. So I saw something he had totally missed. And in that session, once he finished explaining the whole process to me, I told him, I said, listen, I want you to go back and talk to this company in the UK, but talk to them with this perspective and make sure you mention this point and this point and this point. He said, I never thought of that, but I don't think it'll work. I said, listen, don't judge before the experience. You must have the experience first. Take the action first, see the result first, and then make a judgment, will it work or not? So he did that because he was a good student and I was his coach, and he respected me and he committed to me. So he went back and he followed that. He came back for his next session 10 days later and he told me, I saved 50,000 euros because of you. From that one session that he came to me for a private session, and because I suggested something to him, his new business saved 50,000 euros. How cool is that? So wisdom, when it comes into business, it shows you a different way of doing business. It shows you what's the path of minimum effort to produce maximum results. So what will work, what will not work? You just suddenly have a new mindset. So have this mind which is focused on growing the business, but it must grow it from a foundation of wisdom. And boom, now you have that secret sauce, that secret combination. So wisdom is all about creating wealth the right way, all about creating wealth the sustainable way. Because when you do it without wisdom, it's never sustainable, it'll go down. Last question. I really look forward to these videos from you, Calm in the Storm. I don't want it to end. So you heard my last video, yes, where I mentioned that it is going to end. Listen, I did this, as an act of love, as an act of giving. It's to keep everybody through these troubled times. And 25 videos have taken us over about 2 months, really, almost. Yeah. So, look, I've given you a lot. I hope you'll agree with that. And you're saying that you are really inspired and you really look forward to every other video. So they will end. But I've given you 25 mini micro coaching sessions. Now, after that, if you're inspired, you need to take some action. You can stay in touch with me. There's so many different options, right? There's so many different options. You can do the meditation online program. You can do the 1 year coaching, weekly coaching program. That's online, and they're all very affordable. If you really want a coach in your life and you want to see results, massive, massive results, where someone is pushing you, pulling you, holding you, inspiring you, then step forward and commit, invest in yourself for doing some coaching with me. There are many different options we have. Write in and I'll send you the different options. And if you invest in that private coaching, I can just promise you this, that you will see massive results in your life, in your relationships, and in your work. And your life will go from here to here. Realize that. You don't have a coach, you have a coach. You don't have a coach, you have a coach. And if you get the right coach, then you don't have a coach. And then when you have a right coach, you go way up there. You see, you can't even see my hand now. So that's the way I function. I've given you a lot. That's my principle of life. I always give first. And after I give, I value people who give back to themselves, which means that I need people also to commit to their own life. Because if you don't value your life, no one else will constantly give you value. But we're on video 20, so you still have 5 more to go. I'm going to keep on sharing a lot of wisdom nuggets with you. Stay tuned. This is Vikas reminding you, wisdom is the stabilizer of life. Make wisdom your foundation and let's build our future on it. Because in the end, wisdom always wins. Double. Bye now.